Hoy no más, ladies and gentlemen, back on the New Mexico Radio Talk Show. Got the beautiful Mercedes Renee in the house. Bienvenidos a todos. Welcome back, Mercedes. We had an awesome time on the show last night, right? We had an awesome guest, right? We are you able to hear me?
We did.
Ay, ay, ay. Bienvenidos a todos. Hopefully you guys can hear me out there. We got Joanne Bercera. We also got Danny Noyola, all the way Corpus Christi, Texas. Can y'all hear me out there? Hope you guys can hear me out there. We're live on the New Mexico Radio Talkshow.com. We always got some spectacular guests. Mercedes, how's the weather in your area? Is it cold, chilly, windy, sunny? How was it today? Are you having difficulties hearing me out there, ladies and gentlemen? Checking one, two. Are you having difficulties hearing me out there, ladies and gentlemen? Oh my, I think Mercedes having some difficulties out there. Technical difficulties always happens on our show. Um, I don't know what's going on out there. Mercedes, can you hear me out there?
I can hear you now.
We can't hear you now.
I can now, yeah.
It's like all right, man. So I'm glad you're able to get your technicals out the way. So we got the beautiful Mercedes Renee. So how's the weather out there?
It's good. It's very cold. Very, very cold.
Oh my gosh, I hate the
Cold
cold.
and rainy.
I hate the cold, man. I hate to be
It's
bundled up in
cold
a
and
jacket.
rainy.
Wow, cold and rainy. I can probably
Cold
deal with
and
the rain.
rainy.
I can deal
Yeah.
with the rain. I can deal with the rain. Like I said, man, we always doing things on the New Mexico Radio Talk Show, man. Hopefully, you guys are having a good time out there on the airways. Um, hopefully, everybody has a wonderful holiday this year, man. What's left of it because the year has gone down so fast, man. We're already gonna be in 2026 in the next month or so, man. It's going down so fast. I know people got family, friends, everybody coming in from all over the world, man, to come spend time with you guys. I know Thanksgiving is on Thursday. You might see me on Thursday on the show. I might do a quick live, say happy Thanksgiving to all our family and friends. You may not see me at all for the rest of the evening. All right. Never know what can happen on the New Mexico Radio Talk Show. I do want to say thank you to everybody out there, man, listening in with us. We got some talented people that do the same thing, kind of what we do out here in our podcast. Um, we're going to get to know them. We're going to see what they do, how they do their things. We're going to see how they got partnered up, how they do their things. That's what we do, man. We help each other out is what we possibly do here on the New Mexico Radio Talk Show. So I want to bring in a good friend of mine, Alvia Trevino and Blanca, beautiful people. Ladies, welcome into the New Mexico Radio Talk Show. Thank you for taking time to come in and chit chat with us for a little bit on the New Mexico Radio Talk Show.com.
Thanks. It's a fun to be here. Good to see you guys.
Well, that's what it's all about, right? In this industry, you got to make it fun, right? Because if it's not fun, it ain't worth risking your life, your time, and all the accolades for it, right? I mean, people think we get a fortune off of all the stuff we do. They're like, oh my gosh, I want to do what they do because they make $1 billion. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
If they see what it all entails, um, with the program and taking the mics and taking this the
Mhm.
wardrobe, the family, the friends. It gets to be hectic, right? So, but first and foremost, man, glad to have you ladies on here. So, tell us a little bit about yourself. What do you guys do?
Blanca?
Hi, everyone. Blanca Beltran Robinson, president of Champions Club Agency. We're super excited to be on your show. Thank you so much for the invitation. And we basically curate experiences like we just did recently at the Tejano Music Awards. And we wanted to make sure that our artists felt just special being in a new location because I know it's been in San Antonio for many years. So
Wow.
we wanted to make sure that they felt super special when they got on that red carpet with all the photographers. So we are also just like a booking agency as well, but it's all about doing nonprofit and profit work in the community. But it's most importantly, it's about making an impact in our community in all facets, in the entertainment, in the sports, And so that's just a little snippet of what we do.
Yeah, she kind of hit it pretty straight to the point. So, we've been in the community for so long. I mean, I'm 40. Blanca's right there with me. So we're coming from different generations, and we've put in the work in the community. So a lot of people here in Houston and across the country have worked with us through media channels and community impact and business negotiations. And so we knew that with the big game coming next year, there was a lot of opportunity to connect a lot of communities and bridges
Exactly.
from different industries, and also from different cultures and generations. So us being Mexican American ourselves, we've got to pave a way for Tejano music and do our part. And so it was really cool to see this last weekend where we broke history. I mean, after 45 years of the Tejano Music Awards always being in San Antonio, we were able to lift and help our way. I think I'm cutting out. So, it's to be able to give back to the community, but also for all of us to unite and to do more. These are different times we're living through, and everyone's voice is so valuable. So thank you guys for what you do. I think a lot of times too, there's always this, sort of back and forth of who's doing more. But the point is we all need to just keep coming together to raise our community. And that's basically what we do in for-profit and nonprofit. So yeah, it's been fun.
No, and we appreciate you guys for that, because I mean, like I said, people think we make a fortune out of all this. We do this because we love it. I don't have to be on this podcast every single day or 4 nights a week. Like I explained to Elva the other day when I spoke to her, I said I'm on the show 4 nights a week, and it's tough to be on 4 nights a week, and especially when you're the CEO of the company, right? And you're doing everything on the show. And then you have to get partners and help you out and stuff like that, and a great staff to help out on the show. The thing is like like I said, we're on 4 nights a week, and it's tough for us to be on, right? Because we got to find people on the show, we got to do things, we got to create things on the show. But do we get paid from it? Well, we would love to. Hello, sponsorships, where y'all at? You guys want to get advertised on the show? Come on over here. But think about it, guys. If we were able to do this full time, right, we'd have to do this. We'd have to come to a conclusion and say, hey, you know what? We're gonna quit the regular 9 to 5 job. We're gonna focus on our podcast and get bigger and better sponsorships to make it a better podcast, right? But everybody's like, oh my gosh, you guys are rich. Yeah, right. What do you figure? You let me know how I'm rich or how we're rich on the podcast. They don't know what it comes and tells, right? With the computers, the laptops, everything that comes with the equipment, Rice. But we appreciate ladies like you guys
can I interject? I think the message here, what you're saying is, you do it because you love the
exactly
community, you love your people,
right?
But
Yes.
most importantly, it's a passion of yours, and just like it's a passion for me, it's a passion for Elva. So when she and I first met, we aligned on so many different things, and we just knew we were going to create something. We didn't know what it was like 6 years ago, but we knew that there was going to be something special. Fast forward to where we are today, we know who we are, we know what the mission is, and we tackle it in different forms depending on what we're helping curate. But it's always about integrity, about love, it's about empowering and lifting others. Yes, we're all going to win. If we continue to win, we're going to make sure that we lift everybody else that wants to join us, because not everybody does, and not everybody's ready, and that's okay. So what you're doing is you're using your voice. You're speaking up for others who maybe don't have the courage to. So that's courageous on your part. So thank you for what you do as well. So
no, we appreciate it. It's a lot of work.
And for New Mexico, come on, you reached out, we had a lot of people plugging in from Waco and Laredo and all over media, everyone's so excited really just to lend a hand. And, we know that you have to keep going higher for New Mexico. I know when I first went to New Mexico, when I was moving to California for a little while in my 20s, it was the first time and the last time I ever gambled was right in that state, because right when you cross that border, you get into those little baby casinos. And that was my first $20 gambling and my last $20 gambling. But it's such a beautiful state with a beautiful culture. So just, it's really cool to see that the Tejano impact that, we know has been all over the country, and in some cases in other countries. But, we want to see more participation from state to state. There's a lot of things out there that are keeping Tejano really just going, and everybody doing their part. But to be able to embrace you guys next year. We want to continue to connect borders and make sure we look at this as one big Tejano culture.
And going back to the Tejano thing, it's a struggle, right? I mean, because I mean, back in the 80s, 90s, I mean, it was booming. I mean, it's still booming now, right? Tejano's still going, right? And to me, I mean, I'm only 30 years old. I wasn't born in those time frames, right? Because I mean, or else I would have known, right? But the thing is my thing is they always tell me, "Hey, hen dog, did you notice that Tejano is dying?" I'm like, I've noticed, but I don't notice because I still see it still living to this day. I mean, here in New Mexico, it's crazy. I mention this all the time. I just got off the phone with one of the artists that I help out of Tucson. I just said, man, it's tough to get a Tejano band here in New Mexico. It doesn't matter if it's in Roswell, Albuquerque, Santa Fe. Doesn't matter. It is tough to get a Tejano band here. It doesn't matter if they've been in the business 40 years. It don't matter how many Grammys they've won. Doesn't matter how many awards they've won. It's the support system that that support it, right? I guarantee you, if I bring a Tejano band, it doesn't matter who it is, right? I can bring a Tejano band here. Is it going to get packed? Maybe. If I bring a big norteño band, I guarantee I'll pack it, right? Doesn't matter if it's $100 for the tickets or $25 for the tickets. It's just the culture we're living in. And to me, I think it stands out for us DJs because I'm a DJ, right? It stands out for us DJs who support the music and the radio stations. You get some radio stations that won't play a song. For what reason we don't know. We can always say different reasons, but we don't know why they don't they support it, right? And it's just support in this industry where it leads to where our Tejano or our culture is going. You see a lot of these artists that are going from Tejano to country, from country to Tejano, or from Tejano to Latin music. I mean, people are just trying to make a change, man, and just trying to do the best they can for themselves.
And what you just said right there, I'll let Blanca kind of talk about it. But that was what was so fun this year about seeing, Houston lift this event. We knew
Exactly.
from actually 4 years ago when I went to the TTMAs and I saw one of the organizers, Bino, quick shout out to Bino out there. We saw the opportunity to really lift the experience for the artists, whether you're, 40 years in and going on a tour and with multiple Grammys, or you're a Latina that's, kind of climbing in the shadows of, previous people that are no longer here, and, or a new person who wants to pursue the music, whether they're a teenager or in their 20s. We wanted to make them feel like $1,000,000. And so, at least here in Houston, we're able to curate celebrity events all the time. But when we look at the Tejano industry, we love authenticity and traditionality, but it's time for us to give it also, without changing it, give it a little visual boost. So when we were able to kind of intercept the red carpet, I'll let her talk about what that looked and felt like. But I mean, when you saw these legends going across that thing, it was the first time they had ever felt something like that. And we're just getting started. But I'll let Blanca kind of talk about it.
Press 1.
Yeah. So Jenny B, she actually put together a little reel.
Successful. Thank you for calling the Authenticare New Mexico Turquoise Care System.
I hear some turquoise something.
Yeah, there's like a phone call.
Yeah. No, so Jenny B, she posted a reel, and then in the tag she put my first real carpet experience, and that just made my heart swell because obviously she's been around, singing her music and just really doing a great job, and she won the award this year. But she was so excited because it was the first real red carpet. And when I say that is with the big banner, the big, red carpet with multiple photographers and videographers. And then not just that, but, I told her, I go, you should have gone first because you were showing everybody how to pose. Everybody was like, the guys were just kind of like waving. So she was doing the pose, turning and super sweet, super cute. But anyway, so when she came to the back, we also had media lined up back there to do interviews with podcasters or other media that was there. And so I'm pulling them to the side, like, okay, this is so-and-so, this Athena, she's going to be doing the interview. And then the other person, Jessica Jeans. So just to kind of curate a different environment for those interviews, mini interviews, right behind the red carpet experience. So it was not just that, but it was also the continuing exposure of other medias to our artists and just to recognize their efforts. And they were so excited because we had Joey Guerra from the Houston Chronicle, which is a big news
Wow.
print there in Houston. And he was so excited to be there. He came back on, he also wrote another story the following day, just kind of like a recap. But he told me, I'm so exhausted, but I'm so glad that I was there. Like I told him, I said, same amigo. I'm so exhausted, but I'm so glad we share this experience together. But it's all about creating an experience for these artists, not just the newcomers, but also, the ones that pave the way for these new talents showing up. So it's really just honoring them the way they should be honored, because music is great for the soul. Let's just start with that. I, as a teenager, music saved me. So Tejano, salsa, like all kinds of, I love all kinds of music, but Tejano music has always been in my heart. So.
And we actually have an opportunity now, if you look at those videos and pictures, I'm sure you guys will put some up, later, but it's the electric feeling that everybody had from the fan base to seeing an artist come out of the limo and go into that big red carpet that looked like you were in Hollywood. I mean, it was to us, it's still going to get bigger from there, but it was a good touch. And you see 20 flashes going off at once from different major media teams. I mean, International Focus was there. Claudio Macias was there. There were so many different, not just Houston local, but Texas, brands, and some from California, some from Phoenix, some from Mexico that came out. And so if we can do that in such a short amount of time, if everyone just continues to lock arms, not only can we make these artists feel amazing, the fans feel amazing. I mean, for so long, there's been these wars over the old Tejano sound to the new Tejano sound. And it's a constant battle, but it still has people talking about the genre. And so all of it continues to help that. But, we have the power to be able to boost the Tejano economy. And I say that because, the more that we take this serious ways, the better these artists will be paid at some point, the better experiences the fans will have, and honoring all of the Tejano bands that have made the way to have even any of this happen. There's still another level for all of us. When will Tejano get to the global market? When can we get to those heights of the Carol G's and the Bad Bunnies? We're committed. I know you guys are committed. But if we start talking about these things, the Tejano Music Awards is a major pivot. It's a major 45-year stick and stay thing that we want to continue to support and lift. But what can we all do with this moving forward? These times are going to continue to silence us, and we don't have time for us to be silenced. We've got to get louder and stronger together. So, just to be able to feel that energy, it was amazing. And we hope that you guys, for sure can be involved next year. But that's just the beginning still. I mean, what does it look like when you're selling out stadiums and when you're, taking Tejano across the waters? What does that feel like when people in Europe are impacted the same way?
No, makes sense. Makes a lot of sense. And I mean, and hopefully we can be a part of it next year as well. I mean, I just, like I said, man, I mentioned it yesterday, man. There's so many award shows going on. It's not even funny. I'm trying to have my own show here in 2026. I mean, and I don't care who wins. That's why I'm not going to have any of the voting. I mean, somebody special is going to be in charge of the voting, right? That I can trust, right? Especially with the numbers and stuff like that, because I don't want people to say, "Oh, well, you chose so and so." No, I did not. It's a voting process. So, or like if I end up winning by the votes, oh well, how did Hendog win? Did he pull his own? Did he put his own numbers up? No, I don't want that. So, but there's so many award shows going on, and it's tough to attend every single one, especially when they got them back to back or one after a month, right? I know they just had the TMA this weekend. Phenomenal events. Got to chat with Bino G, man, a good friend of mine. The 3Gs are good friends of mine. Big shout out to them guys out there. But shout out to all the Tejano. Everybody in the field. Thank you for all what y'all do. But it was an awesome event. Got to see from video live on the podcast. Got to see the live Katy, Texas saloon, man. Awesome venue, man. I know there was some controversial, with taking Tejano music to Katy, Texas from San Antonio after being 45 years. But it's time for a change. And looked like it was a great success. And who knows where it's going to be at next year? People don't know, right? They can change it. They can put it in corporate. They can put it here. They can put it there. That's just crazy of how they can manipulate and move it around. But it's awesome, that it was in San Antonio for the 45 years, or 44 years, and then they changed it this year, made it Katy, Texas, and who knows where it's going to be at next year. But I'm looking forward to being a part of the event. Hopefully, I can make it out next year. There's a lot of events that I'd like to try to make out. I know they just posted the Vegas Tejano Takeover on Facebook. I just saw it this morning. I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to make that event. I mean, the thing is, guys, if I hit the lottery, man, I'm able to do all these events. Catch me a private jet and sell right on over, man. I mean, there is just too many events going on, right? There's just too many events going on, man. Way too many events that are happening. That it's tough for us, right? It is really tough for everybody to make it, right? But we got to pick and choose, like, which one are we going to go to and who are we going to support? And then there again, you're going to get people that are going to support. You're going to say, well, why are you supporting this event? Well, you're trying to put your pieces in every which way you can, just to make it. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, and I love that.
And I think that's what I refer to when you're like, when people are questioning, like when people question, like, well, why here? It's like, why not? It's like, it's time to, what I kept hearing from different artists, like, it was just so different, but it was like a fresh different. And it was just the electric kind of vibe that was going on, not just, from the venue, not just from the red carpet, but from the artists themselves. Mm-hmm. They just were elated to be there. And how fun is that, to be somewhere where you're so welcome in such a big way and celebrate it, So I don't think that there's need to explain, when something as good is happening for transitional, not to elevate it. I'm always about elevating. I'm always about making it. How can we make it better? Whether it be here, whether it be San Antonio, whether it be in Corpus, it doesn't matter. How
right,
do we make
exactly.
it better? So.
And let's be honest too, I grew up, I was born in Phoenix. I grew up in Grand Prairie and then McAllen and then Houston, right? And so I love my state and I love, so many different areas that I've experienced being 40 years old. But when we look at Dallas, San Antonio, and Houston has the rodeo. We're going on nearly 100 years strong. We just elected the first Latino to be the vice president of the rodeo. Quick shout out to Juan Garcia if you see this. And, you can think about how long these brands, including the Tejano Music Awards, have made it through the times. It's great that people do these, other things and that they're passionate about creating and innovating something fresh and new. But then also for you to sustain anything for 20 years plus, 25 years plus, especially during these times, that carries weight. When you look at the people who've been awarded through the TMAs, Selena had 36 of them. Bobby Pulido, some of the publications that came out through media, it was recognizing La Mafia, 14-time Grammy nominated, 5-time winner who's from here in Houston. And so I think also sometimes the battle of the cities, it's like part of moving it to a city is to get more traction. It's not to remove it, to have this competition between our markets. And when you look at what Houston has done for so long to pave that way, the Go Tejano committee here in Houston, and that one day that they have stayed strong on to keep Tejano through all these years is incredible. But so does Dallas. You see big techs out there and some of the biggest Tejano concerts still happening in Dallas. And now San Antonio has its own rodeo that's been going on for a while. We're not San Antonio, but they have different things that are going out there. I know they have fanfare and they have all these other, festivals and things. So the point is, we have to keep adding in the markets, the RGV. A lot of my friends that are in the Grammys with me and they're constantly performing on there and getting flown out to Phoenix in California. Mm-hmm. What about the RGV? And we're able to really take a little bit of a 2.0 version and say, hey, we're not going to get rid of what we've been doing before. But if we just keep creating these other things instead of coming in the same rooms, it's only going to go so far. And I love our Mexican American culture, but part of that has to shift a little bit. We've got to keep supporting each other and empowering each other instead of, sometimes having a little bit of a negative mindset. And I get it, I get it. You don't change Batman. I get it. We know from the comic world, if you change the way Batman looks, the comic world gets so mad. Well, so do Mexican Americans with any of our change, right? It's the exact same thing. So, we're excited to kind of be able to be a part of that history and we want to continue to invite people to that seat. But, my sisters live in San Antonio. So trust me, I heard it straight from the center. you know, and how can we continue to really kind of bridge those gaps? And, you know, in New Mexico, I'm sure there's a handful of you guys that are really out there driving the market forward. What does that look like whenever you're really kind of uniting, you know, with multiple people who are just as passionate and driven as you? What does that look like, you know?
No, makes sense. Makes total sense. I know Mercedes got a few questions for you, but I always have questions. And some people ask me like, where do you get these questions from? I'm like, I don't know, just whatever comes to my mind, I guess. I don't know, guys. So first and foremost, I mean, this should have been the first question that we should have asked you guys, but you know, we always got to get to the tell of the tape to make sure you know we're on the right page with everybody else on the show, right? So how did you guys come about being wanting to be a part of this industry, and how did you guys meet up, and how did all this fabulous happen for you guys? Then how did you guys get going?
Blanca?
Well, I just want to start with we're fabulous. I'm just kidding. No, that's not why. Yeah, I'm just joking. I'm joking. No, I mean, to be honest, like we're Elva and I get along so much because we have the same mindset in terms of
Exactly.
nothing's too big for us. We don't get scared of the ask. We don't get scared of like, well, we have a vision and we're like, well, let's do it. Like, okay. And we just really go for it, you know, and that from that experience, we're like, okay, how can we learn from that? What are the things that we can make better? It's always about evolving into the next thing, but doing it better. So like the Tejano Music Awards red carpet, like, yes, we did a great job. I mean, I really, truly believe we did it, but I know the little things that we can make it even better, you know, for the next time.
Yeah.
And it's just continuing to evolve, just like the music, you know, like the industry, like Elva had mentioned earlier, how like there's like a, you know, the constant battle between the OGs and the news. Like, well, I don't know who that is. Like, well, have you tried to, you know, listen to the new? Because I love my OGs too, my David Lee's, my, you know, Jay Perez, all those. I used to go see them, La Fiebre, and you know, to just see them too today, like being in the room at the Tejano Music Awards. And I'm taking a look around as I'm running around like a crazy person because I'm just making sure everybody's good and making sure media is being, you know, taken care of. And I'm seeing Ramirera, I'm seeing Diferencia, you know, like just the different artists kind of scattered, kind of close to the stage, you know, when they weren't performing. And
Exactly.
the fans who bought the general admission tickets, or the fans who bought the tables that sold out in 72 hours, might I add, they're right there next to Ramirera. Like, hello? Like, you know, so the fact that you're able to be in this room and be in such close proximity and have respect for the artists and not, you know, crowd them, it's just, to me, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
It just shows the respect that we have for the artists to show up, to dance, but to honor them and not, you know, get in their personal space. I just love that. I really took a look, you know, I looked around, I'm like, this is so incredible. Like, no other industry in the music industry where you can be in the same room like that.
And to answer that, you know, Blanca brings over 25 years plus experience from media. She worked for ABC 13. Wow. She worked for Houston Television, which is the mayor's channel here in Houston. Her track record is production. And because of that, she has a different viewpoint, different access, right? When we met actually through the fitness industry, because at the time I was a personal trainer for a lot of very powerful leaders, mostly Latinas, and a lot of them in entertainment, business, you know, nonprofit, politics, all different types of things. So growing up a vocalist, which I didn't pursue that, I was always passionate about opening doors for people. You know, when I was in the Valley, being on Univision the first time at 9 singing, I grew up with the love of music as much as she did for the love of dance and music herself. But we had very different perspectives from the business side, the health side. You know, you think about these performers, and when they're on stage, they need to look fit, they need to feel fit. They're jumping up and down constantly. The tour bus, the planes, it wears their bodies down. So I was training so many different people without the whole world knowing at the time. And through that movement, right after the pandemic, we realized that we had so much in our hands of resources that people needed, that's why Champions Club Agency started. We knew that we could make a bigger impact coming together. We knew we had very important perspectives that could lift these brands, these companies, these organizations, and we just got to work. And so, you know, coming in through the Latin Grammys and being a part of that the last 5 years, advocating in DC for Latino rights, being at the state capitol, pitching millions of dollars of grants for people that can impact our artists and our nonprofits here in the city. When we talk about our passion for this industry, it's not just about a selfie for us. It's about true, like, impact and history of leaving a mark, and it's not about us. You know, it's great that some people want to pursue fame or money. Everybody can think about what success looks like for them, but for us, it's really about humanitarianism and making sure that we're doing our part while we're here. And if we know we can help people, we have to help them. You know what I mean? And there's a lot of people out there just like us, but we haven't seen everybody yet. We're just now getting started in this whole mission as the world's changing, that it's refreshing again to get fired up with other Mexican Americans and say, cool, you've got this over there. You got this over there. Let's keep bringing that in. And it's that wildfire just grows so much better, you know?
Yeah. It's needed because our world is so broken right now. We need positivity anywhere we can give it as a Mexican American culture, as a Hispanic culture. It is so much needed. So thank you guys for everything that you do. You guys are amazing.
Oh, so sweet.
Simply amazing. I love it. I love what you guys do for.
Yes,
I
we
really
we
do.
love what y'all are doing, man. I was just telling Mercedes the other night, man, because we're like I said, we're on 4 nights a week, man, and the thing is, man, we want to be like you guys, man. I don't know how you guys are able to, manage all the stuff you guys are doing. I mean, I just want to say this, man. You guys are phenomenal at the interviews. You guys were phenomenal over there at the Tejano Music Awards, man. I know it was kind of tough for Blanca and Elva to hear on some of the mics, but I mean, there's some microphones out there that when you're doing interviews, you can't even hear nothing. When people are doing the red carpet or they're doing interviews, period, the music's too loud or the microphones are picking up the music or they're picking up the sound check. But phenomenal sequence you guys had in sync. You guys had the right equipment, the right people, you guys were suited up. Phenomenal job, you guys. I can't express that enough. I mean, the thing is, you want to sound great, when you're doing these big events, because they might. Well, first of all, they're going to call you back if you do great work, great jobs. They're going to call you back.
Mm-hmm.
If you got crappy equipment, well, good luck.
I'm sure all of us have been there at some point, right? Those hiccups that happen, right? That happens.
Oh my gosh, man! I'm going to tell you what, man. When I first started this podcast, just a little insight, man. Started this podcast a little over 4.5 years ago, something like that. When I started, it was just a headset, like they use for like one of those telecompters or whatever they call it, servers, whatever they use. It was just one of those, man, a gaming headset, literally. I mean, don't get me wrong, it sounded great. It did. I've used it forever.
She's like, no.
And then I said, you know what? I gotta upgrade. I gotta upgrade. And thanks to my good friend, Mr. Bumper Gomez, he's the one that got me onto these microphones. And don't get me wrong, they sound great too, and I'm sure there's higher quality ones, but just a little insight, man. I started with a little cheap headset, and gradually in time I upgraded my craft. So but we appreciate everything you guys are doing for our industry.
Thank you.
Is there anybody that you guys have not interviewed that you guys would like to interview? They don't have to be alive, or they could be old school, like whatever. Who would it be?
For Tejano or just in life?
Any genre, any whatever. Who would it be? Who would be your number one pick?
I think for me, anything for Selena's.
Anything for Selena? Yes, of course.
Yeah, so I did meet her. This was before my media time frame, and I actually danced on the stage with her.
Nice.
Funny story. It was in Bryan College Station, which is the University of Aggieland, I guess, area. And this guy's dad owned the venue. It was like a Knights of Columbus kind of venue. He told me, Selena's playing tonight. Do you want to go? I'm like, hello? Yes. Hold on. I'm gonna go get
You're like, no, I have plans.
Right. So we boogie down there, and I was teaching one of his friends how to dance a cumbia.
Yeah.
And then Selena gets on the microphone and says, hola, chicas, necesito 4 chicas que vengan aquí conmigo a bailar. I just heard conmigo a bailar. That's all I heard.
Yeah.
I pushed the boy out of the way, and I made my way to the stage. And so 4 of us got pulled up. I was the last one that got pulled up on stage. So the girls are singing the vocals. And so she went to 1, to the second, third, and then it was Blanca's time. So I grab the microphone, I start singing, and then I start dancing because that's hello. And then Selena's looking at me like, okay, look at you. And she starts dancing with me. So this was before smartphones, so I don't have video to prove it, but I have besties who were there with me who can share the story too. But so I did get to meet her, and she was just this beautiful soul, which I knew she was, And so, yeah, it would definitely be Selena for me.
Awesome.
Oh, that's a hard question. I mean, I think it depends on like where my brain is that day. I lived in Hollywood for a little bit, so I feel like at 21, I'm 40 now, but at 21, when I got to meet The Rock and Brad Pitt and Angelina through their film premieres, and then Quentin Tarantino, it really removed the lid for me. And I think the only one I was starstruck with back then at the time was Orlando Bloom, just because who didn't love him at that time of the Pirates of the Caribbean. Yeah. So I feel like now, I'm not as starstruck to where I can't, believe that we can meet anybody. I mean, they're just like us. And what Hollywood taught me was a lot of times you're driving in a car and you're looking for this bright shining star, but they're human. They do the same things that we do. They do it more privately. So I think now for me, the one I would think of, it's the people who broke history for the genre, and a lot of them are still here. It's the people who were behind the scenes that were, at least in the Tejano world, the visionaries to do it first, to do it against harder politics. I think for me, that's even more fascinating than the beautiful artists and all of their creative work. And then you look at biographies and things like that, from sports to business. I'm a huge Mark Cuban fan, only because I want to see a woman do it too. And so I feel like, the way the world's shifting, being in between both industries, entertainment and health and sports, everybody has an amazing story, and just because they've done something in the public where they may have millions of followers, that doesn't mean that they're any more valuable to history than a stay-at-home mom. And so I feel like depending on what hat we're wearing in that season,
of course,
everybody has something to tell, So I think it's amazing. But for anybody out there listening, don't ever think that they're amazing people that have done great things, but so are you. And don't keep these things on a pedestal so high that you don't also write out your story. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. I think I have the same mind frame as you as far as starstruck. Like, I don't get starstruck. Like, they're the same as us. They're whatever. They put their shoes on the same way, clothes on the same way. They talk like us, eat like us, whatever. And then a thing that drives me crazy is gossip. Like, people gossip about them and whatever. Yeah, it drives me insane. I'm like, why? What does it matter? I'm like, who cares?
Right.
Like, did you hear that so-and-so? Or, who? I don't care. Like, it's their life. Leave them alone. Leave them alone.
Or Mercedes is right. When they gossip, or they'll say, well, they don't take pictures, or they don't sign autographs, or they don't. I'm like, well, who was that? I mean, first of all, I got a picture and I got an autograph. So what do I say about him? You know what I mean? So, and I hate when people do stuff like that, man. And because it just puts people down. Just because they didn't give you a picture, an autograph. I mean, maybe they're having a bad day, or, maybe things pop up, I mean, we don't know what these people go through, right? Because everybody goes through different flaws and different ways. And, especially when you got a family, right? And these guys, they got to eat, drink, sleep, get paid, just like we do. But of course, they get paid a little extra because they're on the road 24/7, right? Us, we got a 9-to-5 job. We got to worry about our shows. And these guys, they're worried about, getting their shows, getting their musicians there, getting paid. And we don't know what they can be going through that day, right? So we appreciate their time that they give us, right? We appreciate them. And it just sucks, that are fans that are fans out there and culture out there that, wow, so and so didn't give me a picture. Well, I don't know what to tell you, but I got mine. I don't mean to rub that in, but at least I got mine. No, just kidding. Want to give a few shout outs real quick, man. We got Tina Martinez. She's out there. She's having some technical difficulties. We got Kendra Moniz, who's one of our biggest moderators in the New Mexico radio talk show business. She just started with us a few weeks ago. Thank you, Kendra. She's out of San Antonio, Texas. Big shout out to my good friend, man, Mr. He says saludos, amigos. He says saludos. And then we got Mr. Tu Amigo Pete is in the house. That's what's up, man. We also got my good friend all the way from Michigan in the house. Norma Salazar is in the house saying hello, man. Hello to everybody out there. We got Veronica La Consentida. She just got back from the Tejano Music Awards. Congratulations, Veronica, on all the accolades you're doing. Keep pushing Tejano music. She's the one that's taking Tejano to Sin City. She's going
Yes.
on her 3rd annual, I believe, Honey Dance. Hopefully, I can be a part of that Honey Dance as a DJ. I know she's had a couple of DJs out there before, so hopefully she can get DJ Hendog out there as well. Another friend of mine is in the house, number one follower to the New Mexico Radio Talk Show. Big shout out to Mr. David Vela. He says, hello, Hendog, Mercedes, Elva, and young ladies. David Vela, Oakland is watching. He's out filming right now. He's a film star now. I don't know if you guys know this guy, but you guys got to get an interview with this guy, all right? This guy used to play with the Oakland Raiders back in the 80s, all right? Good friend of mine. Football player in the
Anthony
house.
was in The Chosen.
That's right.
Wait, well,
That's right.
who's a football team over here? We need to know that answer though. Who's your
What's
football
that?
team?
Who's my football team?
Uh-huh.
Cowboys, baby.
Oh, this interview's done. We're done.
Oh, did I hear another thumbs down? Oh my gosh.
You said Michigan, so I'm like,
Let me guess, you're Texan?
we'll get into that next time. Yeah. We're trying to get you boosted ratings. We don't want to start the war. I just wanted to know.
Oh my goodness, man, you're too much. What about you, Blanca? You a Cowboy fan too?
Negative. No, I am not. Texans fan. Go H-Town.
Oh my goodness, man. No, I like you guys so much, man. No.
But I wanted to give a big shout out to Veronica La Consentida because she came on the red carpet. She performed with her dancers. And I got to interview her the day before on media night. And just the sweetest souls that I had the pleasure of meeting. And she was just so lovely, her and her friend and then her dancers. So big shout out to Veronica. We just loved your energy on the carpet. Thank you for coming out from Las Vegas. So,
and she's holding down Vegas. I mean, I know that we have events up there that get people from all over the country, but she is the one to book and from Vegas. And make sure you're listening to the artists, that the ones that you haven't really been able to listen to or learn about. I mean, they're all tagging each other right now like crazy. And I think that's one major message this year too. Ram Hedda said it best. He said, we need to come together. We need come together. That song, remember? He sung that on stage, and he's like, we need to be able to really lock arms. But if you don't know who some of these artists are, start re-engaging your Spotify. Put down some of the things that you've listened to 100 million times and start refreshing it and looking for the different waves of Tejano artists across the country. I mean, your support helps them so much, and just listen to something new. Make it your Fridays. Find ways to create new playlists, and maybe we should have playlists. Maybe New Mexico should launch a Spotify playlist of some kind, so we can start to kind of also voice those things that we like, and make sure we're looking out for the artists in different markets. Even more.
Well, good that you mentioned that, because I do got a well, it's not a Spotify playlist, but I guess I could create one. But I do got a playlist that I need to start working on. It's a little tough, man, working on different things, and I need to put a little bit more time into it. And I probably need to share that with some of my teammates and stuff like that, and get somebody to help out on board. But I do got a top 10 video countdown. I do got a top 20 countdown as well that I need to start pushing and start working on for these artists. And here's the thing: people hear New Mexico radio, they're like, "Oh my gosh, you got a radio station?" I'm like, "All right, no, I don't." Because they hear the radio in the podcast name, right? Because I can controversy and make it into a radio station if I wanted to. But eventually, when I hit the $1 million lottery, I'll be able to afford a radio station. All right.
Manifest.
Or get a few sponsorships, and I'll be able to afford a radio station. But yes, I try to do the best I can. And then we do music shows. I know Mercedes been on a few music shows that I've been doing. There's times where I jump on, even sometimes right after the interview, I'll jump on. I'll be like, "Hey, Mercedes, you good to go on for an hour?" Hey, we do an hour. Put out the music out there for the fans. Of course, we put our artists out there first, and then we go on and put the music out there. And that's where it starts. Us DJs have to put the music out there for the fans.
Yes.
That's good.
That's what that's just the only thing I see in this industry. And I think everybody needs to unite. Everybody needs to come together. Um, I mean, I don't mind helping people, run a podcast, run a promotion company, run this, because I am no better than anybody else. But I'm always willing to help, show my stuff, and just help, man. But at the end of the day, when you show your stuff and show what you can do, people turn to backstab you in the back end. Oh, well, look, he showed me how to get here. He got my foot in the door. Well, let's say something bad about him to this person, and then they stop talking to you. So, but I'm not about that. I'm here to help anybody that wants to run a podcast. I'm here to help.
And I want to say thank you for saying that, because even though people have done you wrong, because Elva and I, and I'm sure everybody on this screen, we've all experienced something like that.
Exactly.
But we're not going to let those individuals dictate what our hearts are
Right.
about. And
Exactly right.
that's not going to change who I am. That's not going to change who you are, Elva, anybody here. And it's about continuing showing love, compassion, and just continue doing the work, because it's our mission to continue to be the example of what it should look like. So
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, that's good. And I think that's something we're really strong on, just, that positivity, and like you said it, like a lot of these celebrities, you don't know what they're going through. And as a previous personal trainer to a lot of them for so long, I learned firsthand, like, you don't know what they're going through. And anytime anyone's building anything of strength, whether it's a radio show, a business, a family, music, whatever that looks like, you have to expect that there's hurdles you're going to experience. It's not always going to be perfect and peachy keen. And being misunderstood is a part of that step. So instead of getting so emotionally tied to it, we learn in business, you have to remove the emotion so you can keep going higher. The right ones will be there at the end. The right ones will see it. They may not understand it, but they're gonna emotionally support you. And the ones that are revealed to you, it's great that they're revealed to you in different steps, because you can't take everybody and everything with you. And so we've got to just keep going, like she said, by example, but don't focus on the negatives. It could be a comment from family. It could be a comment from friends, from the press. It could be anything. If you put your brain focus on that, it's less focus for you to focus on what you're trying to build. And we have to remember that. So hard days or not, go look at the celebrities. They have all kinds of hate. It's a part of the game. So that means you're doing something when you receive some of that. You know what I mean? But we can't stop there. Don't fixate on it. You know what I mean?
There's always going to be people out there that have something negative to say. Always.
Exactly.
You could be 100% doing the best thing in the world. There's always going to be people to find something negative. You could have brown hair and they're going to be like, oh, she needs to have black hair. You could have blonde hair and they're going to be like, she needs to have brown hair. They're always going to find something wrong with something. It's ridiculous. So, I mean, just keeping authentic and just go on with your day. Like, it's just, you can't.
100%. Like I said,
Hey, thank you. You never know what tomorrow holds. You could not wake up tomorrow. Like, I'm going to be very candid right now.
Mhm.
I've been battling cancer for 7 years, going on 7 years. It has been brutal, and it's been like a roller coaster. I go through treatments, infusions, blood transfusions weekly. I mean, this is all like a weekly thing. But I still keep going. I still wake up in the morning, thank God. I'm super Christian. I just got rebaptized last Sunday. I am just very like, and don't get me wrong, like I have my days where I'm just like, God, like, let's heal me now. Let's get going. And it's a struggle financially. It's a struggle, whatever, because treatments are super expensive. And I take like 3 chemo shots a week, and it's just a lot. But with that said, I keep going, and I keep like I just have to keep going and keep doing stuff. And I'm in college for theology, getting my bachelor's in theology, and I'm just like trying just to keep going and keep going and keep going. So just like everybody needs to like you guys keep doing what you're doing, and us as a podcast keep doing what we're doing, and just whatever you're going through, like you were saying, everybody's going through something. Like, just, be positive. That's all we can do. Just be
Right.
positive and keep doing what we're doing. Because
Thank you for sharing that. I know there's a lot of things that people are experiencing, and it says a lot about your fight and your heart, and the power of the mind, and in my opinion, the power of prayer beats all things, so,
Yes.
but what you said was part of a conversation we had earlier today in a meeting with Blanca. And, one thing I mentioned earlier was, we think about the people who paved the way for all of us, whether it's in radio as Latinos, or it's music, or it's Tejano, or business. Are we doing our part to help make it easier for the next generations? Or are we having to face some of the same lessons that the OGs, the 20, 30, 40, 50 years before us had to experience? And times are different. We understand that. But when we look at our community, are we making it easier for them? Or are we forcing them to fight the same battles because we just can't come together faster? And there's so much happening in so many people's worlds out there. There's radio stations that are changing every day. TV stations are changing every day. Artists are starving these days. Like, touring gets hard. They're underpaid. There's so many different bigger world problems for this culture of Tejano. But when we look at our ability to give them grace, try to understand their perspective, those things go a long way. And I think if this is a message from this award show and after this radio show, it's are we doing our part, or are we there to just fight? Are we fighting each other, or are we putting that energy in the right direction, which is forward? There's bigger things to worry about, like health and family. We don't have time to be stressing each other out, guys, like as a community. And we really need to, I'll be the bad guy and say it, we really need to just mature and keep putting all those old ones away. We don't have time for it. There's bigger things.
We need to move forward together as a community, as a Latino community. We all need to move together. All need to move in one direction together.
Absolutely.
Like, it's just oh my God, especially with everything that's going on in the Latino community, with ICE, just with everything. Like, we all need to be in a community together and move forward positively together. It's so important. So important.
And you guys, it just touches, home, because we all need to be family and unite. And when Mercedes, when she first started on the show and she told me about what she was going through, I'm like, you know what, girl, we're gonna put you on the show. You let me know how many days you can do, how many shows you can do. We're not gonna push you too hard. We're gonna bring you on my promotion company, and you're gonna be able to, put your mind away from what you're going through. And of course, she's in our prayers every single day, especially because she's one of our own. But where I'm coming at is we all need to be unity and find some way to unite, because I think that's where I'm gonna go with, when people say, "Hey, Hendog, the music is dying." No, it's not. It's our people who are making it dead, because everybody's going against the grain. People are bashing each other. Oh, I can be better than you. I could do a podcast better. No, it's not how it works. Teach each other. Because look at this. We got a lot of main stars, right? Big time Tejano stars that are getting up in age. That are not going to longer be here with us no more.
Hey, it's better. They still have a lot of life in them. So I'm going to tell you, a lot of the ones we know.
Don't put it on them. Don't put it on that.
And it's our upcoming artists. It's our upcoming Tejanas that need to step up to the plate. But how can they step up to the plate when you get criticized and you get all this talk nonsense? And but to me personally, if we all come together as one, you imagine how big of an event we would have.
We would be unstoppable.
Exactly.
Well, the thing is, we are going to be unstoppable. I'm just going to say.
Yeah, I mean, it's already there. And I think that's a question I want to leave everybody with is, we can have these statuses, but the way we treat each other, that's the role we're playing in this right now. And I think that's the most important piece for me. It's get rid of all the things that you've done. And if we all hit that reset button, then your actions and how you treat this community and people who are not in this community, that's going to be ultimately what we're leaving behind. they're not going to remember all the things and the titles that we have.
Yeah.
They're going to remember what did we do for humanity in the way. What do we do for our Mexican American? And
Exactly.
I think it's something for everybody to reflect on. It's the holidays. I know I'm cutting off, but it's the holidays. It's the best time to reflect, but also it's time to get to work. And we're hard workers, but what's the next level for all of us?
Yeah. What legacy do you want to leave behind, pretty much, for the next generation? Yeah.
No, you're totally correct on all of that, man. And I just want to be everybody. I just want to make sure everybody gets this. We all need to come together as one to make a whole big thing. Because the thing is, here's my thing. I mean, I mentioned a lot of hats that I did off the air, and it's a lot to deal with, and but my thing is how can I support your show or your event or where you're at if you don't tag me? Yes, I may know the time you go on, or I know what time you're going to be at that event. I mean, you guys could tell me, hey, Hen Dog, Mercedes, and we're going to be over here at so and so club at 10 o'clock at night. Well, okay, I'm waiting. I'm like, okay, well, it's already 11 o'clock my time. It's 12 o'clock y'all's time, because it's an hour difference. I didn't see that. I didn't happen to check Facebook. Well, it is my fault because I didn't check Facebook, but I didn't get a tag. So how can I support you if you don't tag me? And I try to tell that to a lot of people, like, how can I support you if I don't get a tag or if I don't know that you're on? I know what time you come on, but I got other things going on. I'm trying to get my shows going on. I'm trying to get my co-host ready for the next day, for the next show, and trying to get the artists on for the next show. And so how can I support, And I'm not being rude, but how can I support if I don't get a tag or if you're on Elva and Blanca's the moderator for your show, and how am I supposed to get on if she doesn't tag me or tag any of our followers, and I'm here to support everybody. Everybody I'm here to support. It's just tough for me when I don't get the tag, so when the host goes, well, Hen Dog don't support nobody. Well, how can I when you don't tag me? I mean, I can only do so much on my end. That's all I can do. So a big shout out to Lupe Longoria Munoz, man. He says great job at the TTMA Awards, man. At the TTMA Awards, big shout out to you guys out there. Big shout out. We also got Domingo Pete in the house, man. Says congratulations to our new artists at the TMA Awards. Yes, I did see that. There's a lot of new upcoming artists, man. There again they switched it up. I mean, and I hope we're not the only ones that caught that. I'm hoping more people in this genre caught all that, because I've seen a lot of great talented artists out there. So, but yes, we're here to support Blanca, Elva. We're here to support you guys in any which way we possibly can. It just takes little steps, man, and finding the right people.
That part.
And it's tough to find the right people, but it's how can I say this? It's awesome when you find people that got the same vision, the same vibe, the same style that you're trying to push, for our own so if you find the right people and you finding them at a right pace, amen, because it's tough to find good people that got the same driven. And look at you guys are driven. What y'all are doing, you guys are successful because you guys have that mindset. And you guys ain't stopping because people are saying different.
That's true.
No, you got that right, Amigo Pete. Yeah, we support when we can. Yeah, I mean, I know he does his TikTok lives. He's got a TikTok show. He's got his Facebook show. He'll tag me, hey, Hen Dog, I'm live, or he'll say, Hen Dog, I'm live on TikTok. And sometimes he'll send me a what do you call it, at 3-4 in the morning. He'll send me a little notification. I'm like, dude, I'm sleeping. But I'll still catch it. I'll wake up. I'm like, okay, let's check out my boy. I mean, that's what it's all about. Showing the love, support.
I would be asleep. I'd be like, they can wait till tomorrow.
No, but we appreciate everything you guys are doing. Keep striving, keep trucking. If you need help from us, man, don't ever hesitate to
He
reach out
said
to
it.
us. I
He
mean,
said it right there. We've got it.
reach out,
We're gonna
reach out,
we're putting
reach
Mexico
out.
in real strong.
Here's what's cool about this podcast, right? I mean, of course, I'm in New Mexico. She's in Kansas. Mercedes in Kansas. You're in Houston. Where you at? Blanca, San Antonio, Houston area.
Houston.
So two people in Houston, man. Um, I mean, mind you, 40 years ago, we would have to travel to Houston, or you guys would have to travel here.
Yeah.
I'd have to pay your way. We'd have to make something happen, to make it happen, right? But technology, is where it's at, and so Mercedes could be in Kansas right now. She could be out there. She could be out there at a Kansas City game, or she could be out there, at a news conference or wherever she's at, and she says, "Hen dog, send me the link." Bam, send her the link. She can
Mhm.
interview somebody from out there. I
Perfect.
mean, that's a technology that we have. So if you need help, ladies, don't ever hesitate to reach out to us. I'm up 24/7. I'm never asleep at 3 in the morning. That's normally my bright time. Like right now, sometimes on the show I'll be like falling asleep, because I'm always doing things. I'm working on promotions. I'm working on the show. I'm working on artists. I'm working on events. Working on my own award shows. So, like I said, if we can help you guys out, don't ever hesitate to give us a ring, because I will answer at 3, 4 in the morning. So, I mean, I know you guys are getting y'all's beauty
Everybody's
sleep.
gonna be asleep.
You have beauty sleep.
We need
Yeah.
we need to exchange numbers, ladies.
Yes,
For sure, especially with Kansas
Yes.
City. So, and one more thing is the big games are coming. So, are we paving a way for Tejano musicians to be on those stages? Whether you're in a
Yes.
host city, you need to get to work, and we want to lock arms with different markets and host cities. But also,
Yeah.
if you're a Tejano fan, keep advocating for it to be on
Yes.
those stages. We can all
Yeah.
keep doing it. We just gotta keep
Yeah.
working together and stay connected. So,
Yeah, we do. We really, really do. Yeah. So,
Well,
what advice would you give?
except for the Cowboy fans. No, I'm kidding. I'm just kidding.
Yes, exactly. What advice would you give anybody young or older, whatever? Because I'm 49. So, anybody that's any age, what advice would you give if they wanted to start an agency like yours, or just start podcasting, or just whatever? What advice would you give? The stage is yours, Miss Blanca.
Okay, so since everybody's sharing their age, I'm going to share mine. I'm 56, and what I would say is focus on, first of all, do you know who you are, and what is your ultimate goal with whatever it is that you decide to do, whether it be a podcast, whether it be, your own show. It really is like about just really laying it out, and what's the purpose behind it.
exactly.
Because like Henry, you mentioned how like making money, if that's your ultimate goal, I don't know, like don't be driven by that. Be driven by the passion behind whatever it is that you want to showcase to the world of who you are.
Right,
Most
because the money
importantly,
will come
really,
later.
really own who you are and be your most authentic self as you possibly can. Because I felt like for years I dimmed the real Blanca because I was told multiple times that I was too much. And I believed them because I wasn't, I hadn't done the work for myself, right?
Yeah.
Now I've done the work and I have really, owned who I am, and I have no apologies. My kids have learned that if I'm somewhere and I'm going to be dancing or just being mean, they're like, "Mom, people are looking at you." And it's like, okay,
And
do you know those people?
you're
And
like,
like, no. Right. And it's like, if you're worried about perception of people, you're never going to be your true self.
right.
So everywhere I walk into a room, I'm my whole self. I'm whatever I portray on Facebook, that's who I am. I am not somebody on Facebook and then somebody different in real life.
Right.
If you're not being the same at what you're portraying, it's false. It's fake.
Right.
And it's not going to last. So that's my biggest message is really own who you are. And from there, make a plan of why you want to do it. And then how you're going to execute it. And just, if it's just to get the quick, followers, I never got on social media for that. I got on social media because I feel like I connected more with the fitness community online versus anything else. And it's evolved into other things too, right? Just because of the experiences of my media that I really still truly love that. So I haven't let go of that. That's why I still do interviews, and because it's important to share people's stories. Every story is different. Every story is so needed to be told.
Exactly.
Yes.
So, yeah. That'd be my advice. There's plenty more to say, but yeah.
Yeah. Like I'm super authentic in my page is super religious. Like because I'm a Bible thumper, like through and through. And so my page has a lot of religious stuff on there, like a lot of positivity. Like I'm giving everybody positivity on my page. And so I am who I am. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. So I'm always going to be talking about God in some way, or giving positivity in some way, or yeah. And if you like it, you like it. You don't, you don't. I'm also a songwriter. I just wrote a song for Mr. Joe Leal. We co-wrote a song together, and I write a lot of Christian music as well. I write Tejano music, I write R&B music, I write whatever, and that like helps me get my feelings out. But yeah, I'm with you. Be your authentic self. So I get it for sure. And how about you, Elva?
You know, I had my daughter who's turning 16 in January in front of Mando from La Mafia, I think a couple weeks ago. And you know, she plays violin and she picked up the guitar, and the guitar hit her kind of natural. And I asked him the same question. I said, you know, what advice would you give her? And one of the best things he said was, you know, do it because you have a passion for it. Don't do it for the money. You know, when sometimes it's not that you can't make a living off of the things you're passionate about, right? Whether it's an agency or music or media or, you know, anything else. But I think a lot of times people get caught up in chasing other people's successes. And one thing, you know, that I've helped to really identify, you know, as a trainer and then mentoring so many different people who had statuses, just separating the weights for a bit, it was the same thing. It's like, you know, you feel unfulfilled even when you're climbing or when you've made it, because you're still not listening to the inside of you. You know, if you want to talk about the faith aspect, it's you know, you talk about worship. I have a worship song behind me from Harold and Elena, Marcos Witt's daughter. I did some backup vocals for fun for them. And, you know, there's certain steps we have in our life that are kind of pivots to the bigger picture. And if we don't listen to the inner knowing we have, then we're still chasing something that's not always so authentic to who we are. And he's laying it out for us every day, but are we listening and are we looking up for that? And for anyone out there who may not be faith-based, it's the same thing of understanding, is your end all be all finish line about fame? Is it about money? Is it about time? Is it about peace? Is it about faith? Is it about marriage and family? And if you know what that finish line looks like, because Blanca and I both race in, you know, marathons and Ironmans and stuff like that for fun, you know, we look at the finish line is the first thing we think of when we start training. But in our lives and in our businesses and launching a creative idea, sometimes we can't always see it because there's a big cloudy mess in front of that vision. So claim your finish line and understand and ask yourself, does that finish line feel like who we are at the core of us? Or are we chasing someone else's finish line? And you have to understand that path is going to suck, you know, just like we know from marathons or from doing productions, it's not a straight line. You're going to grow through that process, but what we finish as Latinos, what we start, we have to finish. So let that be, as you finish 2025, be kind of the reset in your mindset and in your planning. You know, a lot of people will stay stuck on creative ideas, but they don't ever start them because they're scared of judgment, of success, of failure. But it's a part of the process, you know. And if we had to fail 1,000 times to get to that finish line, first we have to start, and then we have to ask ourselves, do we want to go through the failures in a year or in an entire lifetime? The speed is ultimately always up to you, but you've got to get your ass at the starting line and go. You know, that's a big part is don't sit on it. And if through that process you learn it's not for you, you did it. You're not going to ask yourself the rest of your life, what if? You're not going to ask yourself, you know, when you leave, did I live my life for others, or do I do it because I know that I could? And then it becomes also the last thing is, don't do it because others say you can't. Do it because you know you can. And that is so much more fulfilling through that process than being in spite of the naysayers or any of that stuff. That comes a little bit more with the maturity of it too, you know? Yeah. But back to Mando, you know, those words, it was the same. It was do it for the love of it. And, you know, say yes to opportunities. Don't be scared. What are we scared of? we're living in hard, crazy times. Quit being scared.
Right.
Do it while
Yeah.
you're scared. Eventually, you
And
won't be
also
so
that,
scared.
also that question, like, well, I'm not, or not question, but statement, like, well, I'm not ready. I'll be ready in 2 months. Like, okay, no, you can just start it now. Like, you're never gonna always be ready. Sometimes you have to just hit the glass and go. Let's go, time.
No, that's very, very, very true. And don't mean to stop you guys on this little questionnaire right here. I think we got a questionnaire right here. Let me see if I can get it pulled up. Hold on, guys. Hold
I feel like
on.
I'm yelling. Like, I hear I feel like I'm yelling.
You're not.
You're not yelling. They're passionate.
Yes, we know.
Yeah, right here. Good friend of mine, Mr. Right here to you guys. The entertainment industry measures success by numbers. How do you ladies define success?
Okay.
First of all, success looks different for everybody. For me, success, I've had different successes throughout my life. Let's just start with that. Like growing up in Houston, in the Houston East End, my statistics were to not finish high school, especially not go to college. But I knew that I wanted something different in my life. So I pushed through it, worked full time, went to school full time, go Cougs, University of Houston, graduated. And I got an internship at Channel 13. And I, got a job like 6 months, well, actually 3 months after my internship. And I was there for 18 years. So
Wow.
in that moment, that was my success, right? But even being there, I knew that I made it. And that's the goal I wanted to do. I set out for myself. I know people are like, how are you going to get there? No. And I remember my mom even asking me, Mija, ¿qué vas a hacer? How are you going to get there? Because I had already told her I will be working at Channel 13. And she's like, pero ¿cómo? How? I said, I don't know. I said, but I am going to be there. I just always knew I manifested. When you speak those words out loud, you're winning in that moment. So fast forward, I worked there. So that was my success at that time. But success is always, it evolves to different parts of your life. So to me, defining just one success is not, for me, I feel like in my lifetime, I continue to seek the next part of my success. So yes, in entertainment, it's about numbers, but everything's about numbers. When I worked in Channel 13, it was that I worked on the digital side for the last 12 years there, and it was about the numbers, the clicks, right? That's how they measure success for that. But for me, it seemed like when all that was happening, I was like, okay, it's time for me to do something different because I knew that my creativity, I didn't feel like it was being fulfilled. So I knew it was time for me to leave to seek out my next success. And here we are, I don't know how many years later, 8-9 years later, and I'm having beautiful success with my new partner in business with Elva, with Champions Clubs Agency. So success looks different for different reasons, right? So that's how I define success. What about you, Elva?
Well, for
Yeah.
me, first of all, I like to speak on that real quick
Okay.
because here's the thing. When I first started this podcast, I would always get discouraged, right? Because I would see 2 listeners, 2 followers, and it's always been that way because I was on a radio station at the time, online radio station that I didn't mention to you guys before. I was on an online radio station. I was on there for like 7 years, and here's the thing: when there's a lot of radio stations, right? There's an app, right? You could download to the station, and okay, if you got 15 people at home, listening in off of that one app, there's 15 listeners versus not even having 0 listeners. So I would always get discouraged, in a mindset, like, okay, well, since I got no listeners on the radio station, I'm just going to do a few more songs and I'm going to jump off. And then that's when COVID happened. And then I quit the radio station. I took 3 years off, came back. I figured out a way, did some YouTube University, and learned how to create a podcast, did my own podcast. Somehow, to this day, I don't know how I incorporated music into the podcast. All right. So I'm still trying to figure it all out. but I put music into the podcast, and this is before they got to the copyrights. I was on for like freaking probably till like Sunday. Did a Thursday show. Didn't have no, and I don't drink on my show. I mean, if I'm gonna drink out with friends off the show or whatever. But I didn't have no alcohol on the show. But I stayed on there from Thursday till Sunday. All right, just jamming out full blown music, and I didn't have no views. So I said, you know what? I'm not gonna do this no more. So I took some time off, came back, did something I love to do. Talk to some big name artists, talked to Stepping Montiel, good friend of mine, talked to Michael Sargado, talked to some big name artists, man. Um, and I just asked him the question like, hey, how would you perform if there was no listeners or no followers on your show or at an event?
Mhm.
That sparked a thing in my brain. They said, hey, you know what? If there's one listener out there, still perform. So that stuck, and here we are today with the New Mexico Radio Talk Show, continuing the success. I mean, because there's 8 people listening. Hey, I'm gonna leave. No, just kidding. No,
Yeah.
but
Well,
we're big. We're
actually,
bigger and stronger.
I saw one of our friends here, Celeste Escobar. So quick shout out to Celeste. She's up and coming in Houston, and she's everywhere. She's from our Up Above Entertainment family, which is one of the, like, you guys have to follow them. They're doing some huge things. But whether it's one person you're impacting or a stage full of 10,000, that one person is,
Right.
you don't know who, and it could really impact the world in so many ways. So
Exactly.
going back to the question, I think I agree with Blanca. In seasons, it changes. At 40 years old, I've gone through so many health challenges, and I feel like way back 13, 14 years ago, when I was doing things like this, it was always about that testimony of overcoming 13 kidney surgeries and 22 years of really severe asthma. I've seen way too many hospital beds in my lifetime, and I feel like because of that, I'm blessed. Every day we wake up to take a breath. I know what it feels like to go through just hard stuff with health, and we're here still pursuing success. But in this season now, because of that, my peace and my time is the highest priority. We can make money doing anything. We can surround ourselves with social media and things that other people may see as great, but for me, it's the beauty of freedom, and that means my mentality, that means my health, that means my daughter, my time, that means making sure that I'm slowing down now even harder than I was in my 20s when I started business, to really appreciate what's right present in front of me. And I think in different seasons it's shifted, but going back to Mercedes and her cancer battle, for anyone out there that's going through health issues or helping another family member or someone around you with health issues, I think a lot of times we question during our chase of success, like, why me? But those hardest moments of health shaped what success looks like. Because of that perspective, it's allowed us to help so many other people so much deeper. It lets us see the world through eyes that are so much more awake and appreciative. And I think sometimes we get lost from that in the social media world. So for me, those things don't have a number attached to it. And going back into his question, yeah, entertainment is about numbers. But when you align yourself and you chase your success, you attract those numbers. You have to be so in align with you. And that's not outer work, that's all inner work. So when you do that, the biggest success, as high as you can imagine it, is still small compared to what you can attract into your life. And in my opinion, what God can bring into your life, because it's bigger than you can possibly imagine it. So do the inner work, get real with yourself about what success looks like for you, and get real with yourself on what we need to do to make all this happen. But if you're not aligned, it's never going to happen the way that it could. And we need your testimony to impact others too, whether it's one
I was
percent.
just fixing to say your testimony is important. I was just fixing to say that your testimony is so important.
Absolutely.
No,
Yeah.
those are very great things to put out there. So guys, if you got headphones on, make sure you got headphones on, right? That way nothing exit out one out the ear, all right? Because we want this to stay with everybody forever, ever. Because this is some great advice, great opportunities for everybody. Write it down, record. Hey, you know what's crazy, guys, ladies? This show is recorded, so if you guys want a hard copy of this interview, I can drop it to your email as soon as the show's over. We're live on, like I said, we're live on so many platforms tonight. We're live on YouTube, we're live on Facebook, we're live on Instagram, we're live on Roku TV, and we're live on TikTok. So And then right after tonight's show, the show will be uploaded to my Roku channel as well. And we're live on Roku. So if you got Roku TV out there, ladies and gentlemen, download it, hit the app, download the app. We're on there. We're about to be on Apple TV. We're about to be on all kinds of different platforms. But we thank you to Blanca, Alva, taking time out of their busy schedule to be here with us today. We love their success. These ladies are inspirational. These females are lovely because they're keeping Tejano alive. They're doing their best they can do to keep our culture going. They were at the Tejano Music Awards. They got to experience the first year in Katy, Texas. This is the 45th annual. They got to experience it over there. So we love and love everything you guys are doing for our genre. Keep up the success. Guys, reach out to Blanca, Alba. They will be more gladly to bring you out on their interviews, on their shows, and all their things that they're doing. Like I said, ladies, if we can do anything to help you guys broadcast anywhere, just contact myself, contact Mercedes, get our contact information after the show. I know I got Alva's contact. I need to get Blanca's as soon as I'm done. But contact us. Don't hesitate to give us a ring, give us a call. With enough time. We can send the link and then go from there. Okay. Is there anything you ladies would like to say to any publisher, manager, corporate, fans, people, family, anything you guys would like to say out there before we head out?
Just keep showing up for yourself. Show up for yourself, because if you don't show up for yourself, how can you show up for your community and for your family? And do everything with love. Give love. Be kind. Most especially be kind. The world is so crazy right now, so chaotic. But don't let all that chaos seep into your heart. Yeah. Continue to be the good person that you are, and just give grace to people, especially those who are dealing with hardships.
Yeah, that's good. I think for me, it's similar, but it's, just keep going. I don't care if you're in a high season or a low season. Like, don't be afraid of your shadow. Do the inner work and just get back on, into that marathon of building. And for everyone in production in the entertainment industry, for everyone behind the scenes songwriting, for everyone that feels like you're not seen, you are so valuable out there. We know that your part in this is massive. And for those of you who are at the front lines of the business side, keep fighting for equal pay. Keep making sure our Latinas are taken care of. Keep making sure that these artists are taken care of, men and women, and just make sure that, if other cultures are able to negotiate in ways that we're still fighting ourselves on, be the blueprint. Like, keep going higher, keep asking for the money, because the money's out there. We're seeing it across genres, and we need to be next. It's time for Tejano to be next when it comes to that next level. So when you feel like you're entering boardrooms like I am, and you feel like you're having those tabletop conversations, don't be afraid to walk away from the tables, and don't be afraid to ask for the higher money, because we need those blueprints and those examples and testimonies too. So quick shout out to all our Latina Tejano artists out there. We see you, and we love you guys. Just keep going.
Amen to that.
Yes.
No, yes, amen. Thank you, ladies, so much for your guys' hospitality and humbleness, and we're trying to do the best we can on our shows as well. So, and we're not perfect, guys. We're not perfect, and I'm sure Blanca and Elva are not perfect. They still got a lot of, they still learn just like everybody else, man. So God bless them on everything on their success. Thank you, ladies. God bless you guys so much. I'll be sending this over to you guys soon, and hope to meet you guys soon in San Antonio, Houston area. I know we'll be out there for Fanfare Week. Hopefully meet you guys soon. God bless you guys so much. Thank you.
Same here. Take care,
And
Mercedes.
Hi, bye. I'll get your numbers from Henry.
Absolutely.
I would do this, but the kids tell me it's like this now. I can't keep up, so it's not this anymore.
Yeah, it's
different.
Korean
It's
dramas, the Korean K dramas.
What is it? Say siete.
Oh my God, I'm so sick of that, girl. Oh my God. But I'll give you the heart.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Oh my gosh, you guys are too much, man. God bless you guys.
Ciao.
Bye.
That's right, man. Well, Mercedes, another one in our record books. A la Máquina, hour and 30 minutes. It's past my bedtime. It's past the showtime.
That was a
But
really good interview.
But yes, and I always say, we always do an hour interview, but when the interviews are good, man, and you're getting good information and amazing people, right? I don't mind, spending the extra 30, 40 minutes on the show and discussing what's going on, and these ladies are like a pea in a pod, man, because they started their own company, they're running their own business, they're running their own thing, they're running their own club, and they're getting out there, they're getting after it, and they can give a rat hoot of who's telling them what to do and how to run it and how to do it and the whole nine yards. They're doing everything that they possibly can to be successful. They put their age out there, 56 and 40, man, doing their thing. I mean, it's never too late to start your journey, start your career, or even make a comeback. Say you retire from your job for 40 years. Hey, go out there and pick pecans, go out there and pick pinon or whatever, do a job. I mean, it's always welcome to come back, right? So I mean, these ladies are a great inspirational to a great successful team. Um, when I seen them at the TMA Awards, Mercedes, I saw their live, I saw their actions, I saw everything. I saw the potential, I saw their energy, I saw their interviews, and I said, you know what? We got to bring them to the New Mexico Radio Talk Show. So I reached out to Blanca. I don't know how I even figured out her name. I think I heard it when she mentioned it at the interview, and I said, well, I wonder what her last name is, so I can find her, so I can set up an interview. And
Yeah.
she's like, hey, reach out to my partner. She can answer you quicker. And it's kind of like me, like, hey, like, if I can't, well, reach out to Mercedes. She'll take care of you, so I mean, they got a partnership going on, and that's what's best for them. And we set it up through Alba. Thank you to Alba Trevino and Blanca. They're an awesome couple, man. They're doing their best thing. But like I said, when I saw them do their interview, I'm like, all right, we got to bring them on the podcast, And we brought them here. And it was a successful interview. I was thrilled to have them on the show. Looking forward to having them back on the show. Look, and that's why we're here. We're here to help. We're here to bring in different guests. All right, Gil Jimenez, be on the lookout. We're going to be reaching out to you to bring you on the show sometime next week. Working on some scheduling. I know Mercedes is working on something out there, bringing in Stevie D. Who wants to see Stevie D on the show, man? It's been a while since we had Stevie D on the show. We're going to be working on him. We got some artists coming in on the show, man. So be on the lookout. We want to wish everybody a happy holiday. If I don't see you tomorrow, because I might do an interview tomorrow with some of the bands that are going to be at the venue I'm going to be at tomorrow at the event center where I'm going to be at. I may do a couple of interviews real quick. And if I don't see you guys tomorrow, I want to wish all my family, friends, supporters, new listeners that we gain it every day, every week. Thank you so much and have a happy Thanksgiving. Don't eat too much turkey or too much cornbread. But God bless you guys so much. I do want to say thank you to everybody. Mercedes, anything you want to say to all our fans, family, friends, listeners, supporters, and thank you to our beautiful moderator out there, Kendra Maniz, all the way from San Antonio, Texas, welcoming in everybody. Thank y'all guys so much.
Just want to tell everybody to make sure you like, share, follow. Make sure or just thank you for tuning in. I do want to ask for prayers for Miss Tina Martinez. She is needing prayers for her babies, her grandbabies, and family. She is standing strong and positive. She had a bit of a breakdown today. So if you could send out prayers for her and her family, that would be amazing. Have a happy Thanksgiving, you guys. We're going to miss you the next couple of days. We will be back on Monday. But yeah, just go like, follow, share. We appreciate each and every one of you for tuning in. And yeah, we love you guys so much.
Yes, we love you guys. Thank you so much, man. You got it right, Mercedes. We won't be back on until Monday, man. I mean, We want to give this rest of the week off, man, especially since it's Thanksgiving week, and we want all our hosts and everybody to enjoy the holidays. And we'll see you guys on Monday. God bless. Thank you, Mercedes. Thank you, Head Dog. Oh my gosh, I'm saying thank you to myself. I know, hombre. Also, man, don't forget, man, to vote for the New Mexico Radio Talk Show for best podcast for the Puro Conjunto Music Awards going down, man, in December the 12th and 13th, man. And well, they got three different places, man: San Antonio, Zapata, and Laredo, if I'm not mistaken. I got to get them right, and then I'll post them out there. So I'll post a link out there to vote, and we love you guys so much. Thank you, guys. God bless, and hasta la vista.